welcome to class 661. All right, let's continue where we left off yesterday with list number 19 from our vocabulary booklet. All right, page 143. Are you ready? Now, yesterday I only did the first word in voz alta, aloud. Dilo en voz alta. Say it aloud. Recita el poema en voz alta. Recite the poem aloud or out loud. All right, basado en, based on, un bastón. ¿Tengo bastón? No, yo nunca llevo bastón. Yo siempre llevo based on, basado en las estadísticas que tengo, los datos aquí. Based on, based on. Pronunciación. Based on. Ahora, enlace. Obligatorio. Based on. Based on your testimony, tu testimonio. Based on your testimony. Based on her testimony. Based on this information. Based on, yes. What is it based on? ¿Sobre qué se basa? ¿En qué se basa? What is it based on? What is it based on? The Vaughan method. Vaughan. What is it based on? Very simple. The learning curve has to change. The learning curve normally is like this. You have to change the learning curve like this. How? Getting the student to be highly motivated. How? By finding teachers who are cool. Encontrar profesores que molen. And when you find teachers who are cool, who then make the subject attractive, because the teacher's attractive. An attractive teacher makes the subject attractive. It's very simple. And then the student is attracted to the subject, to the teacher, and to the subject, and the learning curve changes because the student is enjoying it. Not really, the student is enjoying the teacher's power, a powerful teacher. The student is appreciating and enjoying the powerful teacher. And then the subject, maybe it's English, maybe it's anthropology, or maybe it's art history. It doesn't matter. It's interesting, stimulating. Why? Because the teacher is interesting and stimulating. It's that simple. It's that simple. Así se dice en inglés, es así de sencillo. It's that simple. All right. And that's the secret. You want to know? Based on. That's what our methodology is based on. Everything we have in our method is designed to accentuate this type of teacher, to produce or create this type of teacher. But of course, you need to be very careful and very scientific and very artistic in recruiting the right profile, the right kind of person. All right. Basado en, based on. Dinero en metálico, cash, efectivo. Cold cash. Se dice mucho en inglés, metálico. Lo quiero en metálico, frío, en frío metálico. I want it in cold cash. Cash. Yes. Hey, Richard. Yeah. How much cash do you have on you? I don't know. Well, check. How much money do you have on you? In this case, money, cash. I don't know. I really don't know how much cash I have on me. Let's see how much cash I have. I have 115 euros on me. 115. That's enough to buy that's enough to invite Marta to lunch. ¿Te animas? Yeah. Are you up for it? ¿Te animas? Es una forma indirecta de invitar. ¿Te animas? Comemos juntos. Bar de enfrente. The restaurant enfrente. The restaurant across the street. ¿Te animas? Are you up for it? Are you up for it? Ahora hay que entonar así. Are you up for it? She said yes or no. Because I think she brought her. I was trying to tupper. Did you bring a Tupperware? Did you bring your lunch? She brought her lunch. So she's not up for it, okay? All right, she brought her lunch in Tupperware. Estoy haciendo publicidad gratuita, Tupperware. Aquí dice un tupper, se dice, ¿no? He traído mi comida en el tupper. 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 Ok. Tupper. Como si fuera una A. Ok. Es una U. Corta en inglés. Like up, but Tupper. But we don't say Tupper, we say Tupperware. Wadi. Tupperware. Como mercancía. Mercancía. Warehouse es almacén de productos. Warehouse. Software. Hardware. Hardware es ferretería. A hardware store es una tienda de ferretería. Now, hardware también es la parte física de los ordenadores, sistemas informáticos, the hardware. Software, Tupperware, okay? Tupperware. I've never in my life used Tupperware. I'm a strange person, right? I'm a little bit of a strange person. Okay, good. Dinero en metálico, cash. Te lo pago en metálico. I will pay for it in cash, en efectivo, in cash. O sea. En otras palabras, in other words, I remember a person who was describing, I was describing a person. I said, every time he comes to my house, I open the door, he comes into the entrance hall, and next there's a door right there, and it's a small bathroom, a half bath, se dice medio baño, half bath. And there he washes his hands. And the person I was speaking to said, o sea. I said, what? O sea. No te entiendo. O sea, so do you understand? Sea. Okay, fine. But that's Spanish sometimes. O sea. All right, fine. So, o sea is, in other words, he washes his hands or whatever. In other words. In Spanish, yo say, en otras palabras. All right. In other words. Pero no tenemos la expresión o sea, which is an interesting expresión super socorrida. O sea. In other words. Modesty is modesty. Modest. Yes. I said to a person the other day, I said, bueno, yo soy bastante modesto. And I'm quite modest. And he says, Richard, es fácil ser modesto cuando uno es célebre. Okay, fine. It says it's easy to be modest when you're already a celebrity. Okay, yeah. Which is true, by the way. When you're already a celebrity, the option to be modest is very easy and very pleasant. All right? Very easy. Now, if you are aspiring to become famous or to become a celebrity, aspiras a, well, modesty is maybe not the best policy. You need to blow your horn. Se dice, sonar tu bocina. You need to blow your horn. Horn is cuerno, de vacas y de toros, etc. A horn. Horn también es bocina o claxon de coche. Horn. Horn también es el viento de metal de la orquesta. The horn section. The brass section is horns. The trombone is a horn. The trumpet is a horn. The fliscorno, the cornet, is a horn. The tuba is a horn. These are horns. And a bugle. A bugle is una corneta militar. That's a horn. And they're all la familia de los horns. Okay, horn. Cape Horn, Cabo de Hornos, Cape Horn. And a shoehorn, cuerno de zapato. No, shoehorn is un calzador that you put in el talón. Yeah, that's a shoehorn. Wow. I don't think you're going to need that word for the rest of your life. How often? I have some students, Marta, some people, especially when I give master classes, they're writing down everything I say. And I say, why are you writing down everything? Well, you said shoehorn. I said calzador, shoehorn. I said, you're never going to need that word. You're wasting time and you're filling your head with unnecessary information. Shoehorn. Now in Spanish, calzador. I don't need that word. However, you have the expression, metelo con calzador, that you use figuratively. Te voy a meter en inglés hasta con calzador si es preciso. In this case, yes. So calzador is more important in Spanish than shoehorn in English, because we don't use the word shoehorn figuratively. You're going to learn English even if I have to give it to you with a shoehorn. No. Horn. All right, so horn. Modestia. So if you want to become famous, if you want to become a celebrity, or if you want to be successful, well, don't be afraid to blow. Se dice soplar. To blow your own horn. Tu propia bocina. So that people notice you. Yes, but at the same time, you have to be prepared to impress those people. Which means you have to be good. If you blow your horn and you're not good, you're blowing hot air. And people don't like hot air. All right. But let's go on. Nómina, payroll. Tengo que cubrir la nómina. I have to pay the pay. I have to meet como cumplir con. To meet the deadline is cumplir con la fecha tope, o el plazo. To meet the payroll. You know, the first time in my life, I personally had to meet a payroll. O sea, pagar a la gente a fin de mes. You know, que tenían sus hipotecas. They have their mortgages. It's a big responsibility. It was in 1975 in the nuclear plant. So, for the past, 47 years, every month, I have needed to generate enough sales and to collect from the clients enough money to pay at the end of the month. And I have never failed to meet the payroll successfully. Never. However, there have been moments in which it was a bit hairy. Se dice en inglés un poco peludo, un poco inseguro. It was a bit hairy. And 95% of our politicians, or maybe more, have never been in that situation. They don't understand what is necessary to generate work, to generate wealth, to generate money, to generate everything that they do. The heroes of today are the business people who take the risk, start companies. Many of them fail, the majority fail, but a certain minority, and they meet the payroll. They meet the payroll every month. Es agobiante a veces. But if you want to be a good business person or a good entrepreneur, well, you need to meet the payroll. And you need to have good people. And those people are taking a risk with you, because those people usually end up getting married, having children, and buying houses, and paying a mortgage. And so it's a big responsibility. All right. Nómina es payroll. Curiosa palabra. Paga rollo. El rollo la paga. The payroll. The payroll. Ingenioso, que tiene muchos recursos. Resourceful. Resources. Yesterday or the day before, I was talking about human resources. You remember? Recursos humanos. Human resources. Recursos naturales. Natural resources. Personal resources. ¿Qué recursos tengo dentro de mí para sacar castañas del fuego? I mean, to pull chestnuts out of the fire. Because the chestnuts are burning. You pull chestnuts out of the fire. Okay? To pull chestnuts out of the fire, you need to be a resourceful person. You need to be a resourceful person, which means you need to be intelligent and you need to know how to do things. and how to solve problems. Yes. So you need to be resourceful. Lleno de recursos, donde te las puedes ingeniar. Las cosas se las ingenia para siempre salir adelante. He's a resourceful person. Yeah. He's a resourceful person. Yes. Vendedor is salesperson. Salesman, sales lady, salesperson. A salesperson. Salesman. Don't confuse salesman or saleswoman with a seller. It's the seller and the buyer. El comprador y el que vende. O sea, enajenador, un bien. That's a seller. You're the seller. Now the intermediary perhaps is the salesperson. You see, a salesperson represents the seller who wants to sell. In the Corte Inglés, well, the Corte Inglés wants to sell clothing, kitchen appliances, menaje de hogar, home appliances and things. They want to sell these things. And they have salespeople working to sell. So the Corte Inglés is the seller. You and me, we are the customers or the buyers. And in the middle are the salespeople. So a salesman and seller is very different. All right. So, dolor de garganta, sore throat. I have a sore throat. Sore. Sonaja la cruz. Sore. Sore. Yes, sore. Marta, what's the strongest nun in the world? Do you know? La monja más fuerte del mundo? ¿No sabes? Sor Senega. Okay, all right. Okay. But sore, hago estas cosas para que la gente recuerde sore. Okay. Sore se usa para un dolor que incluye normalmente inflamación. Sore. Okay. For example, un dolor generalizado de cabeza es headache. Ache, okay. If you are suffering an ache, your reaction is, oh. If something is sore, it's, ooh. You understand? It's different. So, it's sore. So a sore throat, headache, backache, stomachache, stomachache, earache, cuando es autitis o similar, earache, toothache, de muela, oh, que cubre la mitad de la cara. Oh my God, it's toothache. Sore throat, sore throat, sore throat. All right. Have you ever had a sore throat? Throat, garganta. Have you ever had a sore throat? Throat? Yes. Yes. A gorge. Gorge is garganta geológica, como en Ronda, el Tajo de Ronda. It's a gorge. But no es garganta. It's a throat. All right. A gorge. All right. Where are we? I'm going very slowly today. Eh? Ser aburrido is to be boring. Is this class boring? Am I a boring person? Am I a boring person, Marta? She says I'm not. Boring. Yeah, are you bored? ¿Estás aburrido? Pues si estás aburrido, será que yo soy aburrido. I mean, if you're bored, that means I'm boring. If you're interested, that means I'm interesting. If I'm not interesting, then you're probably not interested. If I'm boring, then you are probably bored. Estar y ser, en este caso, ser y estar. Ser aburrido y estar aburrido. Yes. I've told you this before, maybe 300 classes ago, but this is a true story. No te acuerdas de la historia. This is true. I had 3 students in a class many centuries ago, and 2 women and 1 man. Intermediate level. And I was teaching would rather. Would rather means preferirías. Would you rather be would you rather be an elephant or a tiger? Would you rather have $1 million or €1 million? Would you rather, would you rather, would you rather? And I asked, would you rather be bored or boring? ¿Preferiría estar aburrido o ser aburrido? The two women, the two young ladies said, no. I would rather be bored than boring, which means I don't want to bore other people. But I turned to them, and you said, no, I would rather be boring. Él prefería ser aburrido que estarlo. I said, why? Porque es el problema de los demás. Yo estoy bien. He said, I'm okay. It's their problem. I mean, if I'm bored, I have a problem. But if I'm boring, the other people have a problem, not me. I said, well, that's an interesting perspective on the question. I don't necessarily agree, because if you're boring, you have a bigger problem, in my opinion, than if you're bored. All right, boring. Okay, convencer is to convince. Convénceme. Convince me. Convince una persona convincente, a convincing person. Sus convicciones, his convictions, to convince. Merecer is deserve. Merezco más pasta. Y un despacho con vistas. Soy un tío con casta. Y de las mentes más listas. Yeah. Suena bien, ¿no? Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, se llama Felipe. Yeah, I remember him, Felipe. Felipe quería un ascenso. Yeah. So he went to his boss, and he says, me merezco la más pasta y un despacho con vistas. Soy un tío con casta y de las mentes más listas. Y Alberto se echó atrás en su silla de oro. En su silla de ejecutivos. He said, pero te falta una cosa, te falta el inglés. ¿Y los tíos están con casta? Yeah. Bueno, tu inglés es de pena. Para nosotros es un lío. Y los tíos están con casta son bilingües con brío. All right. And so poor Felipe didn't get his money or his despacho con vistas, his office with a beautiful view, okay? Because he didn't know English well enough. All right. So, where are we? Merecer is to deserve. I deserve. Claro, se dice merezco más dinero. Is that correct, Spanish? Me merezco más dinero. Is that correct? Which is more correct? I don't know. Sometimes reflexive verbs in Spanish, after 50 years with the Spanish language, I still don't understand some reflexive verbs. The use of reflexive verbs. Lo merezco, me lo merezco. Probably it's me lo merezco. I deserve more. But in English, deserve. I deserve more money. I deserve more consideration. I deserve more appreciation from the people. I deserve. You don't deserve it. You're not making. You want me to give you more classes? You don't deserve more classes because you're not making an effort to deserve. Despedir. No, estar en desacuerdo, to disagree. To disagree. I disagree with you. You know, it's interesting. No, I think maybe 90% of the time we say, I don't agree. No decimos estoy en desacuerdo con, no estoy de acuerdo con. I don't agree. I don't agree with you. I disagree with you. In fact, if a person says to me, well, Richard, I disagree with you, suena un poco altivo. Now, I don't agree with you doesn't sound arrogant. But I disagree with you, depending on the tone of your voice, could sound a bit snotty. Snotty is altivo. Snotty. You need a palabra mocos. Snot is mocos. Y snotty. You see, altivez así. And snotty, okay? It's a snotty, saying, I disagree with you. But that's my opinion. If you say it in a nice tone, no, I disagree with you on this, Richard. Really? Okay, no problem there. I disagree, pero lo importante es el verbo to be, no entra aquí ni para atrás. En español, estar de acuerdo, en desacuerdo. But in English, no. Existe la expresión to be in agreement, pero eso es con calzador. And some students say, but you can say it to be in agreement. Yeah, you can say it, but we don't say it. I agree, I disagree. I agree, I don't agree. All right. Despedir is to dismiss, to fire, to sack. The British sometimes say sack. I think that word is declining in usage. The word to fire, to dismiss, also to dismiss. Permitir, posibilitar, to enable. Enable, que no es habilitar, pero un poco como te habilitará, okay, te permitirá. Learning English well will enable you to find a better job, probably. It will enable you. It will allow you. O sea, también decimos te permitirá encontrar, pero es casi mejor decir enable. Los dos. Oh, both are okay. Reaching a truly powerful level of English, a really good level of English, will allow you to find more, to have more opportunities. It will enable you to find more opportunities. I promise. See you tomorrow.